CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for being with us on this Tuesday. A serious collision closed Highway 11B in Coleman Township, just south of Timmins Shores, for the better part of the day. The highway reopened about 30 minutes ago. It had been closed after a single vehicle crash around 8 this morning near Bass Lake Road. The driver suffered serious injuries and was transported to hospital. Anyone with information or dash cam footage are asked to call Timiskaming OPP. Now to the weather, and the temperature is falling. Any precipitation? For more details, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
One-day break. You're going to get some sunshine for tomorrow, as indicated by our systems map, brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. We've got a bit of a clearing path coming up for tomorrow. Loads of sunshine across the northeast, and then Tony, we've got some sleet, lots of it for the next couple of days. Showers, flurries, and a lot more. So it's not a bad forecast, but more annoying than anything else. We'll get to some of the 5-day details coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks for that, Rick. An update tonight on the heavy police presence in Siganac Township on Manitoulin Island yesterday. Provincial police saying they were called in by the MNR after investigating a person believed to be in possession of a firearm. The individual barricaded themselves in the Bidwell Road and Pine Lake Road area from about 2:30 yesterday afternoon until 6 p.m. A 39-year-old was taken into police custody and charged. It's a contentious piece of legislation, Bill 33, which would give the province powers to step in and take over school boards, was debated at Queen's Park today. The Minister of Education, Paul Calandra, said the Near North District School Board would be among the first boards he will be looking at if Bill 33 passes tomorrow.
They had a number of recommendations, binding recommendations that they had to fulfill. I'm expecting a report back from the ministry with respect to have they fulfilled any of those recommendations. I highly doubt it, given what I'm hearing from the board and their continued pushback on some of those things. They said fulfill those binding recommendations. If not, then I'm going to step in and assume responsibility for that.
CTV News reached out to the Near North District School Board late this afternoon, but officials weren't able to comment. The board was holding a closed meeting this afternoon. We'll have more on the debate of Bill 33 tonight at 6. A Sudbury mother is sharing her experience with well-meaning strangers while shopping at a local big box store. Her issue is over concerns surrounding allergies and the spread of respiratory illnesses. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Danielle Christensen was shopping at a big box store on Monday with 2 of her children.
An elderly woman approached us and she tried to touch Dawson, and I gently said, please don't touch him, he's allergic to peanuts. She immediately was so sorry, and backed off and kept interacting with him, which is totally fine.
She said they continued to shop, and when they arrived at the food court, a husband and wife began interacting with 15-month-old Dawson and 3-year-old Daisy.
They were being absolutely lovely until he touched Dawson's face, and it happened so fast that I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth.
She then took the children to the washroom where the third incident took place.
As I'm changing him, she came out of the stall, came up behind me and grabbed his face, to which I responded, hey, he's allergic to nuts, please don't touch him. And she's like, well, he's just so cute.
She says incidents like this happen most of the time when they are out in the community. So she decided to share the experience on social media.
I've had a lot of moms reach out saying that they've had the same experience and that they're fearful of bringing their infants out to the stores, and this shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be afraid to bring our kids in public because somebody they don't know or we don't know is going to touch them and potentially cause harm with RSV, colds, the flu.
Officials with Public Health Sudbury and District say everyone has a role to play in limiting the spread of viruses.
That means staying up to date with your vaccines. The flu and COVID-19 vaccines are now available in the community for everyone above 6 months of age. The RSV vaccine is also available for eligible individuals. Cover your cough and sneezes with a tissue and immediately discard the tissue in the garbage and wash your hands.
As for Christensen, she says it's all about awareness and that ultimately it's all about respect, which means asking first. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Also ahead, it's a delicate subject, planning for the future and end of life.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, I've got to say, I had a nice experience with U.S. border security on Sunday when I went down to see the Buffalo Bills play at home. They actually let me into the country, and they let me go home as well. That was a really nice trip. So kudos to U.S. border security. Some nice people at the border station at Peace River Bridge in Buffalo. Here we go. Forecast radar. We've got a clear day coming up for tomorrow. And again, some sunshine before we get some sleet in the forecast. We'll get to that momentarily. We've got a system coming in from the U.S. Midwest and from Manitoba. You'll see a combination of some rain and some snow flurries. Now let's get to the numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt, mainly sunny for tomorrow at 1. Chance of sleet on Thursday, Friday at 60%. 4 and 2 your highs. 1 on Saturday, sunshine. And Sunday we've got the chance of sleet once again, but for Sudburyans anyways, no chance of precipitation for Saturday evening for the Santa Claus Parade. And that, after all, is good news. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mainly cloudy tomorrow. Chance of sleet for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 60% Thursday, Friday. 30% for Saturday, Sunday. Your highs 5, 3, and 4. Meanwhile, in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sun and cloud for tomorrow at -1. Chance of sleet for a couple of days, 60% on Thursday. Then the showers roll in Friday. And again, so we'll have to see what happens there. 3 and 1 your daytime highs, -2 on Saturday, cloud cover. And the chance of flurries come Sunday at 2 degrees. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, sunshine for tomorrow at -1. Chance of sleet on Thursday at 60%. 60% flurries on Friday. 3 and 2 your daytime highs. 1 degree on Saturday with the cloud cover. And the chance of flurries at 2 degrees come Sunday. Evening temperatures somewhat comparable for this time of the year. I mean, we are getting colder at night, but nothing too drastic. North Bay, West Nipissing. Your 5-day forecast, sunshine tomorrow at -1. And again, chance of sleet at 60% for a couple of days. Daytime highs 5 and 4. Mainly sunny skies on Saturday, +1. Chance of sleet Sunday. Daytime high of 4 degrees. So, Tony, we get some nice weather for a day. Then we'll have to put up with some sleet for a couple of days. Then we get more nice weather. So we'll have to see how this plays out over the course of the next couple of days in northeastern Ontario. I know you missed me, Tony. Back to you.
Yeah, we're glad you're back. Thanks so much for that, Rick. It's a conversation many put off, but one of the most crucial talks to have. Next week, a free workshop in Sudbury is inviting residents to take control of their future healthcare decisions through advanced care planning. More now from CTV's Amanda Hicks.
Maison McCullough Hospice is gearing up for the 3rd installment of its Dying Well series with a focus on advanced care planning.
Families that are coming in and patients that are coming in a state of crisis, and they're having to make decisions on the fly when they're emotionally disturbed. And what we want is to give more power, more control to our community members over their healthcare journey by having these conversations before they end up in the healthcare system.
The free session, led by palliative care coaches, will help participants complete their advanced care plan in a supportive group setting.
We're going to make sure that everybody leaving the conference and the session is going to be able to identify who their substitute decision maker is. That's the person that would make a decision for you if you could no longer mentally do so for yourself. And then again, what we hope is that people will leave with resources that helps you to kind of document, again, your values, your wishes, your beliefs.
There will also be a voluntary research component to determine if advanced care planning discussions can be effectively conducted in a group setting instead of in a doctor's office. The findings will be shared at a province-wide conference in the spring.
Can we share this throughout the province and be a model for other communities? And Do the advanced care plans get completed in the sessions? Do participants share it with their family physicians and their substitute decision makers? So we're really hoping that this can be a model that can grow, and it's from Northern Ontario, so it's a wonderful opportunity for our community.
The workshop will be taking place right here at the United Steelworkers Hall on Tuesday, November 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Registration is required and the deadline has been extended to this Sunday. You can reserve your spot by calling Maison McCullough Hospice directly or online at the hospice's website. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Work is underway to either change or even move Sault Ste. Marie's men's shelter, but officials with the District Social Services Board tell CTV's Corey Nordstrom that this is not something that's being rushed into and a move that could still be years away.
With last month's opening of the Sault's Heart Hub, it was known that the low-barrier men's shelter would need to move. The District Social Services Board oversees the shelter, and officials say the relocation will not be decided on hastily.
Any movement of the shelter is going to take very careful planning and consultation, and we don't foresee that happening for, 12, 18, 24 months.
In the meantime, DSAB is slowly transitioning to a high barrier shelter to comply with the Heart Hub's funding parameters, meaning more strict rules, including sobriety. The added supports coming to the community could also impact what the board does long term.
With the Heart Hub model, we're actually seeing upwards of 80 new FTE positions come into the system. So again, my hope is that with the addition of the FTEs, with the addition of the funds that are coming through the model, we actually lower the usage of the low barrier shelter.
Pagnuco says the board has looked into at least 35 locations to move the low barrier shelter. While nothing has been decided on, they know that once the current shelter becomes high barrier, there will still be a need to help those who aren't able to comply.
The reality is, if we don't have a low barrier shelter, people will find other places to go. So we need to ensure that those resources are available in the community so we can at least try to assist those in need and ensure that they're going to the proper place for help.
DSAB officials add that the concerns that neighbors of the shelter have voiced will be considered when looking for its new home. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
He's coming to town. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a couple more cities in the Northeast are preparing for St. Nick. We'll be right back. Over the last few months, the wellness coordinator with North Bay Police has been meeting with staff. The woman was brought on board in May, and as CTV's Eric Tashner tells us, she brings a wealth of knowledge from her 20 years as a social worker.
Julie Lavictoire, North Bay Police's wellness coordinator, has been busy over the last several months, gauging staff morale.
When I check in with them, they're a lot more quick to respond and kind of let me know, well, I'm not doing so good, or I'm doing a lot better today.
Lavictoire presented findings from the peer support team to the police board, including the success of in-house training for 911 operators and dispatchers on managing occupational stress and trauma. She's been meeting with both sworn and civilian members, helping them with any kind of health and wellness challenges they're facing.
Police personnel are kind of notoriously guarded and a little bit less trusting than some of my other previous clients that I was used to. So it's just to kind of build trust with them.
When Chief Daryl Longworth was sworn in, 27 employees were off work for various personal reasons, including to treat work-related physical injuries, mental health, and PTSD battles. Since then, some staff have retired and 4 members have returned.
We're currently speaking with a number of other individuals who are interested in coming back to work, and we're just working with their treatment providers and WSIB and the member to make sure their transition back to work is seamless.
A Canadian study finds, on average, most people experience 8 to 10 traumatic events in their life, compared to 800 to 1,000 traumatic events police experience in their career.
We have an organization that is going to wrap around you and support you.
Recognizing the day-to-day pressures of being a police officer with the variety of calls for help, Longworth stresses the need to keep his team healthy and motivated.
If we keep them feeling like they're valued, like what they do makes a difference, and that people actually care about what they do, they're going to go out and look after the community and take care of the community's needs.
La Victoire is looking at implementing some new changes regarding health and wellness and plans to bring forward further information to the police board. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
In Timmins, more than $230,000 is going to police for a new mental health initiative. The province announced the funding today, which will support a 2-year pilot project that will allow officers to work with trained crisis workers to assist on calls where people are experiencing a mental health related crisis. The new mobile crisis response team will be made up of specialized workers and police officers. North Bay Police are preparing to reintroduce their auxiliary member program again next spring. At the police board meeting this morning, a staff sergeant explained that a successful group of applicants will be completing a fitness test and will undergo training in the next year. The auxiliary program is a group of volunteers who assist police with public safety promotions and community events, and when needed can assist officers with emergency situations, traffic and crowd control. If all goes well, the program will relaunch in March. Sudbury will be the only stop in Northern Ontario on an up-and-coming country music concert.
Hurry up, preacher, I'm telling y'all you should be fishing.
Country music star Lee Brice has announced his Canadian tour dates for his Sunrisers tour next year, which includes a stop in the north. Brice, along with special guests Brett Kissel and Grace Tyler, will perform at the Sudbury Community Arena Wednesday, April 22nd. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. The nights are getting longer and colder, which can only mean that the Greater Sudbury Santa Claus Parade is almost here. Parade officials shared that the parade will have an enhanced kids experience with a coloring contest, and Canada Post workers will pick up children's letters to Santa. Officials with the Santa Claus Parade also shared the judging criteria for the around 68 floats registered so far.
The criteria for the floats and for the judging is show a lot of energy, play some music, and make sure that you're on theme and you're really celebrating the Christmas movie that you chose as part of your float.
Chuck LaBelle is the parade's musical grand marshal, who said he is very excited to kick off the parade and set the tone for the party.
I'm probably going to do them bilingually with some French and English content, so everybody will recognize the song and everybody's going to be happy.
The Greater Sudbury Santa Claus Parade is set to begin at 5:30 p.m. November 22nd after the fireworks. This will give Santa and his reindeer plenty of time to come from the Sault Ste. Marie Parade at 5 p.m. also on the 22nd. It's a different kind of trek when we return a holy walk on St. Joseph Island to celebrate the birth of Christ. You're watching First at 5. It's back for a second year, and it's a story many of us are familiar with, the birth of Christ. The Holy Walk is happening for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, on St. Joseph Island. To tell us more, Ashton Kent joins us from Richards Landing. Hi there, Ashton.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are preparations coming along for the Holy Walk?
It's coming along really well. Yeah, we have some last-minute little things we need to do this week, but everything's in place for sure.
Tell our viewers what's going to be happening. Paint the picture, if you will.
Yeah, so the Holy Walk we've been running for many years. This is the second year, though, at All Tribes Christian Camp, and it is a journey to Bethlehem. So we will be, families will show up and they will come into a gym where we have music and scripture readings and carol singing, and then they will partake on the walk, where it's guided by several of our guides, and we go through the journey to witness the birth of Christ at the end of it.
And on Saturday, I see it's by appointment only. You have a time slot in which families with small children can attend.
Yes, yeah, we're excited about this new addition. So we understand that waiting for an hour or 2 hours when you have a family with young children can be very difficult. So we want to make sure that this walk is accessible for everyone. So we've opened up a slot on Saturday, just the early portion, so 5:30 or 3:30 to 5:30 for families with young children. And also, we've also had other people reach out to us and just indicate that they are concerned with the darkness and different things like that. So for people who don't want to drive in the dark, or they have different accessibility things where they might have to go a little bit slower on the walk, all those kind of things, we want everyone to be able to experience the walk, so they can make an appointment from that 3:30 to 5:30 time slot.
Ashton, you put a call out on social media for volunteers. Do you have enough people to pitch in? I know your family's playing a big role in this event.
Yes. My husband and I and our 5 kids are all involved, and actually a lot of our extended family as well, which is wonderful. But we do have about 140 volunteers, which is about the same as we had last year. But there are some areas that it would definitely be helpful to have more people fill in. So I would love if this week we got another 10 volunteers for sure.
Right. Is there a charge, or are you accepting, monetary donations to help with the event?
So there's no charge. Families are welcome to come, but we do have a donation bin at the start of the walk and at the end. If families choose to do that, that would be wonderful.
Ashton, thanks so much for your time. It's great that you're doing this again this year. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Ashton Kent joined us from Richards Landing on St. Joseph Island. To learn more about the event this Friday and Saturday, head to holywalk.ca. The Mayor of Sault Ste. Marie's annual Christmas card competition is underway. Elementary age school children are encouraged to submit their Christmas-themed entries. 3 entries will be named as the Mayor's official Christmas cards. The deadline is November 28th, and the winners announced December 2nd. Here's something to get you into the Christmas spirit. The North Bay Choral Society is holding its Christmas concert December 5th and 6th. It's happening at St. Andrew's United Church. The concert on both days starts at 2 p.m. Tickets are $20 each. Children 12 and under are free. And to Fielding Park in the greater Sudbury community of Lively, Ted Gunn snapped this picture of a blue jay enjoying some peanuts. Thanks so much for sending this in to us, Ted. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can always email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.